Yeah, it was pretty packed. I mean, that we knew that's kind of what it was going to be, because we only did like I think it was 5 days. So we were pretty perfect.
Brian, if you can hear us, you are totally frozen, my man. You want to try to rejoin?
Oh no.
That is the perfect
Beautiful.
thing. Oh my god.
He's like Han Solo, dude. He's frozen in carbonite right now.
Welcome to the 90th episode of the Cast That Ends Creation. I'm your host, Chris Deering. This is the show where I interview bands and public figures from the Mathcore adjacent communities. If you beautiful people in chat have any questions or comments, feel free to drop them in. I'll try to read them aloud. If you like the sub for $5, you get access to some exclusive emotes as well as access to the interviews before they hit YouTube and other streaming services. You can also sub for free by attaching Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account. It's like taking $5 from Jeff Bezos' pocket and putting it into mine. If you're watching this on YouTube or listening to this in your car and have no idea what I'm talking about, the show is first recorded live on Twitch. Join us every Sunday and Wednesday at twitch.tv/thecastThatEndsCreation for the live cast. With that out of the way, let me introduce our guest today who dropped their debut self-titled album, which dropped back in July through Zegma Beach Records. Welcome in Lower Automation. How's it going, guys?
Hello.
Hello.
It's going.
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. I'm glad you guys could stop by. You want to tell us who you are, what you do with the band? I guess we'll start with Derek.
Sure. I am. That is me. I am Derek. I play guitar and make noises with my mouth.
I'm
Okay.
Brian. Oh, go ahead.
Go, you go ahead. You got
All right.
seniority, my bro.
Yeah, that's fair. That's right. And don't you forget it. Hi, I'm Brian. I play bass.
Hi, I'm Andy. I play drums. I'm the new guy.
Yeah, new to this album, right? This is the first time you've been in the band for recording?
Yes, it is.
But it's been almost 2 years.
Yeah, we were talking about that
Yeah,
while
you're
everybody was
right.
disconnected.
I don't know why, but I love your band name. Like, whenever I hear Lower Automation, I don't think like Screamo or whatever. But for some reason, it just seems like it fits really well. I'm not sure what's up. Can you explain where the name came from?
So I believe it was me that came up with it, but I'm not totally positive on that. But it was the first name that like the Brian or me or our first drummer Matt came up with that we all agreed on. So I think I was reading this essay or interview with Cornel West, and he would talk about, in this interview, he was talking about walking nihilism. And so I think that's what I was thinking about when the name came up. But I'm also not sure if I just liked how the words worked together, Lower and Automation. So I don't totally remember, but that's what we've been telling people for the past 5 years. So
Okay. Yeah, I love
remember.
Cornel West actually. Like, he's fucking awesome. What you guys are like into that kind of stuff.
I love Cornel West. Yeah.
Derek is definitely the person that's more into the philosophy and like good books. I read the worst shit.
Okay.
I wouldn't call them good, but different.
So I was surprised to find out you guys have been around since 2016. At least that's when the first release happened. This album's the first time that I've like known about you guys, and so I thought this was the first thing that y'all put out. And I see you have this like back catalog. How did you guys get together?
Let's see. So actually, the fall of 2015 was when we first started playing. I think our first show was coming up on 6 years ago now, like November or something like that. So Brian and I knew each other from bands that we were in before. We were kind of in the same scene and we would see each other all the time. And then we ended up just playing in a band together. And then, our first drummer, Matt, we met through like a Facebook group, I think. And then later we met Andy through, Brian and I sometimes play like synth pop kind of stuff. And, we played in Andy's old basement. And like a show, and that was the first. And then Andy and I ran into each other on tour, and then we just kind of started talking.
Yeah, that was weird. You're
That
on
was
tour
weird.
with Meth,
Mhm.
and we were both in the same
really?
city. And
Yeah, it was Oklahoma City.
It's like, wait, I know these guys.
Yeah, I saw you playing drums, and I was like, I'm pretty sure I know that dude. And it took me a few songs. And I was like, oh yeah, I played in his basement.
So are
Yeah, it
you
was
in
like a
Meth
chain
as well?
reaction.
No, I was just filling in. I was doing noise stuff for their tour. I think it was with Wrist Meet Razor or something.
Dude, that's fucking crazy.
A couple years ago.
That's so sick.
That was an interesting 3 weeks.
Andy, you run like a venue out of your basement, or what's up, man?
I used to. It's called CT House, and we'd have a lot of either grindcore, like 7-band bills happening, or we'd have like
Good
a lot of
God.
like Midwest emo. But I always tried to get a bunch of touring bands. Whoops, sorry. Always tried to get a bunch of touring bands to come throughout the year, and like the neighborhood didn't really give a fuck. At least they didn't tell us they gave a fuck. Made a lot of friends there. But yeah, I had to move out.
Oh, you're not there anymore.
No, I'm not there anymore.
Okay. You ever just like go take over their basement for a little bit?
Sometimes.
Well, you moved out during COVID, right?
Yeah, I did.
Well, there already weren't shows going on. But I will say
Yeah.
that was the cleanest basement I've ever played in my life.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
absolutely.
It's been
By
way
far.
dirtier.
You know, we
That shit
did
used to flood all the time, and
Oh shit.
we
get
did
gnarly after punk shows.
fuck up a TV in that backyard.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Wasn't quite in the basement, but close enough.
Oh, you say like
From the
grindcore basement show. Like I think crusty as fuck, just disgusting. But hey, hearing it's clean, that's insane. 5-star
Yeah.
venue right there.
Yeah, good
Yeah.
bathroom. Good bathroom.
There was a band called Girth that played there on like one of the 7-band bills or something, and they came with a bunch of like massive dildos. They were just whipping them across, and like it was a tile floor, and they were sticking them on the floor, and people were tripping on them in the pit and shit. Dude, those bands get really creative. I really miss those shows.
Alrighty. So you guys released 3 EPs, Maps, Shoebox Companion, and These Didn't Fit. Now you're back with a really, really solid debut. Aside from it being longer and having Andy now, what's the difference between this full length and your EPs? Where would you say you've grown?
Yeah. So, in the first place, Derek does all of the mixing, mastering, except for on that very, very first one.
Oh, damn. Well, you did
So-
really freaking good, man. Holy crap.
Oh, thank you. Well, I don't master it. I don't
Yeah.
master, but I
Oh,
do
that's
the-
right. You don't. That's right. Okay. Fuck me, I guess.
No, fuck
So,
me.
yeah. So, and then we recorded all ourselves and everything. And that was true since Shoebox, which is when Maps was just Derek, and then the producer of that album. Not gonna name drop because he hasn't paid me. I'm just kidding. But so I feel like we've definitely gotten better at like coming up with stuff like faster, not so much like workshopping like the same thing over and over again. Like, hey, what do you think about this? Oh, that rules. Okay. Instead of like, what do you think about this? I don't know if that rules.
Yeah, you
That's-
guys know what you like now.
Yeah. Maybe that's the easy way to say it.
Well, I feel like you guys have progressed like hardcore on this. Like this seems way more complex than your EPs. To me, I hear a lot of like Fear Before the March of Flames, like the Always Open Mouth album. Like I hear some of that stuff going on. You got Plot to Blow Up the Eiffel Tower, Daughters, John Bonet. All this stuff is just like things that are popping out to me as I'm listening to it. Am I anywhere near the influences on this, or where are y'all drawing influences?
I
from?
love Plot to Blow Up at Eiffel Tower. That band's awesome.
I was about to say the only band I knew from that list was Daughters. And I don't think we sound like Daughters.
Really. Dude,
Yeah, I
you
mean,
gotta
I
check
know-
out Plot.
I know-
Oh my god.
I know the plot to blow up the Eiffel Tower. I don't listen to like math rock or noise rock or anything like that really. I mean like I love like Drive Like Jehu. And like Dillinger was a big influence on me in high school, but I don't really like listen to those bands very much anymore. So I don't really know. I mean like I think those are definitely like influences, but like what I was listening to when we were making this album was probably nothing like any of those like most of those bands like I don't know either.
Really? Wow,
Yeah,
that's crazy.
and so I think we're
dude.
just like we're just like like people always say we sound like At the Drive-In. I don't know if Andy listens to At the Drive-In.
I
but
you know
Brian
what?
and I
I've never
don't.
That's
listened to them
like
before.
2 songs.
Okay,
Two
yeah.
songs.
So like I think I have one of their albums and I listened to it a few times. It's like it's okay. I don't hate them, so I don't mind the comparison. But it's just funny to me because like I don't know where that's coming from. So like I've never never. I mean, like I've never spent time learning their songs or anything like that.
But yeah, man, like a vegan neuroscientist, I think is how you would say it. The beginning of that is so close to what's happening on Fear before the March of Flames, Always Open Mouth. Dude, I totally thought that was like a huge influence for you guys. That's crazy. Y'all have no idea what I'm talking.
Sorry, we're so lame.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
Seriously,
I guess we
come on,
gotta dig back into
like
Schooled.
a lot of times like people will say people would be like, yeah, you guys must listen to like some crazy shit. And I was thinking about that today. I was walking around my town today listening to fucking Father John Misty, and I was like, oh Jesus, I'm like the lamest fucking like dude. I can't live up to the expectation that all these people have. Like
That's fucking.
These guys listen to the craziest shit. Like gonna put on some Sufjan today, get a little inspired.
Well, so
I love listening to hardcore punk though.
Oh, there we go. So let's get into the metal stuff here. What are some of the like bigger influences though? Like you were saying some bands I'm not completely aware of. Derek, he said a couple that I wasn't really sure of.
So like I was actually just listening to this album in the car today. My favorite guitar player is Derek Bailey. When I used to play that album in the van, people like our old drummer Matt hated it. He thought it was awful. Yeah, and it caused kind of an issue for a while because people didn't want to hear it. That's probably like the biggest influence on me for this album. I mean, I think like Ira Works, the Dillinger album came out when I was in high school, and I think that's always been a huge influence on me, even though I don't really listen to it anymore. It was very eye-opening, and so I think that's still something that's influencing me to this day. I don't know. I listen to a lot of like experimental or like electronic stuff or modern classical stuff. So like I feel like that's kind of where the inspiration comes from. But instead of composing in that vein, we're trying to compose in like a very like caffeinated, panicked way.
Very caffeinated.
Yeah.
What about you, Brian? What's some of the stuff you're bringing to the table?
Yeah, I really like bassists like Colin DeKuyper, who was in like I think he was in Russian Circles for a little bit. He was in Dakota for sure. I am nearly 100% sure he's in Relayer, but don't quote me on that until I look that up because I have Google in front of me.
You've been quoted. It's too late.
Live fact check.
Yeah, it's too late. It's too late for me. But I like I like his stuff a lot. I think his bass line's probably like, and he's kind of, his stuff's really mathy. I mean, like, he's in fucking like Russian Circles and Dakota and shit. Really like sort of the lines that Jesus Lizard laid down. Like that's I guess what I'm trying to channel when I'm recording. I mean, I started playing bass because of Jason Newsted, who is not the best fucking bassist Metallica ever had, but like, like that's the kind of that kind of like I just like things that sound awesome. Like they don't even have to be good bass lines. Like, does this sound awesome? Hell yeah. Why does it sound awesome? Because of these things. It doesn't matter. The point is,
I think Metallica influenced a lot of people, and the thing that doesn't sound awesome is that fucking snare. But
I don't mind it.
Derek's favorite album of all time is Saint Anger. That's a fact.
Likes to punish himself. I like it.
Yeah.
And he said you listen to a lot of hardcore punk. What are some of your influences coming into this?
I love a lot of stuff coming from the 80s where they kind of fringed on a lot of like kind of weird stuff like early Black Flag and like Flipper and stuff. But I mean, for drumming with these guys, like I was like, wow, okay, this is my chance to be in like a really mathematical, like gnarly fast, and like also like I don't know, it challenged a lot of like my thinking of drums instead of just like straight like super fast and D beats and stuff. I'd say like Melt Banana would be like something I've been trying to stylistically draw from, and then like also just like being all over the place, like Lightning Bolt,
Dude, Lightning Bolt's fucking sick.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say that's probably closest for me.
Alrighty. Dude, that's so weird that you guys aren't into like the stuff I was saying before. That's so odd. Y'all are playing like, so this just came out of like nowhere then. Like,
I do have
it's not influenced at all by anything like that. Oh, what's up? What's up?
the other. I totally forgot about this, but this is Wire. The album Chairs Missing, or is it Missing Chair? It's either Chairs Missing or Missing Chairs. I think it's their second album. That was a huge influence on this album.
I'm writing down Wire and Chairs.
I think it's Chairs Missing.
Okay.
It's like from 78 or something like that, so way before its time. Some of the songs are like kind of like dumb rock, but they're like the majority of them are like super weird. Kind of sounds like early Devo a little bit. But that was that I think that's the closest sounding influence that we had to this album.
Fucking crazy. So how does the writing process work for you guys? Is one person mainly directing it, or it kind of feels like Derek's actually the one directing it, but I don't want to speak for you guys.
Yeah, Derek's the captain at the helm. Oftentimes he'll send me a bass line and go, "Hey, make this better or make this worse." It depends on the song. More times than often, it's like, "Hey, play this worse than I did it," and I'll say no more, fam, I got you. But it's definitely a lot of it's Derek. At least to start. I know there's stuff we do collab on, but most of it's Derek.
Derek will send out like a draft of the demo that we can all check out, and it was actually really cool to work. I've worked with so many bands that just like are super unfocused, like it's really hard to get like new material like figured out or discuss it. But coming in with a demo, like we could literally just copy it around like Logic and check out different ways to do things. That was more of like our collaborative process once Derek came to us with something.
Yeah, it was usually like I would start with the bones, and then I'd send everyone demos, and then we'd pick them apart and see like what was working and what wasn't. And then a lot of, it actually was kind of difficult because we started writing this once lockdown started.
Mm-hmm.
And so we just like post them on SoundCloud, and then I'll listen to them, and then we'd do like a conference call, and I'll talk about it and decide, what we wanted to change. And then about 2 months before we recorded it, maybe 2.5 months before, we started practicing every week, with masks and distance and stuff. And, kind of just went over everything a little bit more and tried to figure out, how to play those songs and if they felt good to play.
Is that like the super important part for this, is making sure that like they're easy to play, or I guess feel good playing?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, one thing I noticed with our last EP, Shoebox Companion, was we were on a crunch with that one, and our last drummer, he didn't have as much time to learn the songs, so like a lot of it was kind of Brian and I going over everything for a few months, and then the drummer learned it, and then we just recorded it real quick. This was a lot more like we had everything kind of set in like early June of 2020, and then in the middle of August, late August, whatever it was, that's when we went to record it. So we had pretty much everything written, and then we just kind of like were massaging parts and seeing how it felt to play. With Shoebox Companion, I remember the release show for that I was like, oh wow, these are really uncomfortable to play. Like it was sort of like kind of bordering on not fun to play a couple of the songs. And so
I can specifically think of like 2 songs that I like. I do not enjoy playing these lines. I'm glad I don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah, I don't remember how to play them anymore. It didn't last long. This one to me feels like way more organic. It was also written much quicker. Like some of the songs are old, like Dread is like probably 2 years old now. That was the first one written. But a lot of them were like started maybe like 5 months before we recorded, and we just kind of like blasted through them. So it was uncomfortable for me when we were writing it. I just kind of like, I made a decision to like, this is going to be our mistakes album. There's just going to be mistakes all over. And I don't think there are for Brian and Andy, but for me, there's a ton of mistakes on the guitar. And yeah, thanks, Brian. And
thanks for dropping the ball, my bud.
But I want it, and like vocally too, like there's tons of stuff that's like sort of purposely off pitch and like off time, and that was really hard for me to leave it like that, and to write things that like we didn't kind of like try to perfect everything. We just kind of like let it out.
You're talking
so that
about
was the
this
main
album,
difference.
right?
Yeah, this album.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds fucking great. Honestly, this is fantastic. Like, I don't want you thinking that there's a bunch of mistakes and shit on you, because it sure doesn't sound like it.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
You
I
see,
feel like
Derek has the luxury of like, if he fucks up on a part, he goes, "Oh, it's experimental. I meant to do it like that. My name's Derek. I'm straight edge, and everything I do is great."
Well, I remember one time
That you said that straight to my face.
I did. Yeah, I always tell everyone I'm straight edge. So
That's the one
I
thing.
make sure
you
that
tell
that's the
everyone.
first thing you know about me. I'm vegan straight edge. So
Yeah, I remember when Derek first introduced himself to me. He came up to me and goes, "Hey, what's up?"
yeah, and I wasn't even straight edge back then. But there was a couple times. Once when I was recording a guitar part, I don't remember what song it was, and I looked at Brian and Andy when we were recording it, and I was like, "What do you guys think about that?" And Brian was like, he's like, "Well, I think that if you're going to like want people to give feedback, you have to write something that's like an actual guitar part." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, let's do one more."
Jesus
And then
Christ.
so we did another one and it was fine. And then that actually happened with the vocals on Dread. We kept the vocals from the demo, and Brian and Andy hadn't heard the vocals until we were in the cabin recording it. And I was like, I think I'm gonna leave the song, the vocals the way it is. I don't think I'm ever gonna do it like that. So the vocals are just pulled from the demo. And I remember Andy specifically said, after we listened to the demo vocals, he's like, "Well, I don't know what else you do there." That was, so I was like, "Okay, that's good. We'll leave it." And I'm gonna turn a light on real quick because I realized that
I was gonna say you're pretty dark.
Yeah, you're
One
fading
second.
in darkness right now, bro.
Joining in the
Well-
dark too, dude. That's a Sigma move right there.
We are the Dark Boys.
Okay, there we
There he
go.
is.
We are the
Hey.
band. We are the band that lives in shadow.
So speaking of vocals, Derek, do you write all the lyrics, or is it kind of spread around you guys?
Yeah.
So what's the main idea behind the lyrics for this album?
I think. Oh, now I'm like really white. This is actually my actual skin tone. I think this album. I
Couple
think-
shades higher than that, Derek.
Couple shades higher. Yeah. So where it hurts your eyes. Sort of like an angel, but just really pale.
This is why you got
Um,
sun poisoning.
Yeah, Brian's just as white as I am. He just had sun
that-
poisoning. That's why you
correct.
can't
Yeah,
tell.
and that's why I look like this. I fucking orange as hell.
Anyway, so the lyrics, I think the theme was things that people don't want to look at, like ugly things people don't want to see or think about. It's easier to forget about than think about. So yeah, so they're really all about Brian.
I was about to say, can't believe you
Just
wrote 10 songs about me.
Um,
My girlfriend listened to this album. She goes, "I understand this so much."
but yeah, I think that's the theme. It wasn't written with that in mind. I think that was just what came out.
I
But a lot of
specifically
the
remember
songs
that
started
was
with lyrics first.
I specifically
really?
remember when you were showing me lyrics for this album. I think we talked about like themes, and we were like, "Yeah, how about just like ugly shit? Like, what about just like really gross things that nobody talks about?" Do you know what when you showed me when you showed me the lyrics? I think I had just watched Swiss Army Man, which is a movie about that. So I think I vibed with that extremely.
But you were saying vocals come before the music? How's that work out?
No, lyrics.
Or you know what I mean? Lyrics come before the before the music?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't written like that. That's how I used to write when I was like a teenager and in college. And then because I wanted the theme to inspire the music. It was an accident this time around. I haven't done that in like 10 years, but yeah, there was just like when we were writing for this album, I realized I had all these things written that I thought would be good lyrics or starting blocks. And so like the song Dressed in Camo, Hyped to the Teeth, that was actually two different like poems that I had written and kind of like mishmashed, and because I thought they kind of fit together. And then that ended up being some of the rhythms in the first draft of the poem I had written, I stole from the words and then used to make the beat. so that's why it's kind of irregular.
Really, dude, that's crazy, man. I can't imagine starting off a song like that.
I never thought I would do that again. I've tried in the past, and just this time it just happened. Like Ruiner, the last song, not all of them. I think there was like 2 or 3 that didn't start with lyrics first, but Ruiner was started like I had the lyrics pretty much written out exactly how they are, and had been thinking about it for like 6 months, thinking about the lyrics and like what I wanted to sound like, and then I just sat down in front, actually like right where I am right now, and like just started playing, and that's how the song kind of came out.
That's awesome, man. That's crazy. I feel like that's like next level type of stuff for like writing songs and such. You know, most people wouldn't start out with the lyrics first. So you guys recorded this in an isolated cabin in Michigan, August of 2020. How did the isolated cabin come about?
We finally got one, Derek. We got one for you. Derek loves the fucking cabin.
I did. I loved it.
Won't shut up about that fucking cabin. Actually, I do too. It was a nice cabin.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, Brian and I had been wanting to do that like the whole existence of the band, and our last drummer wasn't into it. So now that Andy was,
I think
around,
he was into it. He just didn't have time for it.
Yeah, either one. I don't remember, but
who knows? He's dead. He's gone now.
He's gone.
We don't speak his name.
I just talked to him today, actually. I'm friends with him.
Have you actually? I need to text him, ask him how
he's good. But
I'm afraid for my future.
No, don't worry about that. Okay. But anyway, so Andy came around and Andy was about it. I was like, hey, would you be interested in recording in a cabin? He's like, yeah. So
that's like how you met him. The first thing he said, like, hey, you want to record in a cabin?
Yeah, that was actually one of the prerequisites for joining. When we were auditioning Andy, we were like, how do you feel about cabins?
It was like, as long as the ceiling's high enough.
When we first talked about this, me and Derek, we talked about how like we were gonna like go beforehand and make sure that it had like good acoustics and stuff, like if this is gonna work or not. And so like we started playing this, and then there was COVID, and that didn't really make that possible. And we were like, well, like we can't really figure out a different way to record this, so we decided to do the cabin thing. And what I love about that is that we had literally no idea if we were just gonna go and spend a week there and just like have a bunch of stuff that we throw in the garbage. And I like thinking, like in retrospect, boy, that was so irresponsible. We really lucked out.
I think that's what made the album kind of like what it is, though. Like it was the whole thing was like, I don't know if this is gonna happen.
The whole thing was very irresponsible. That's correct.
And
you pulled it off, though. I think it sounds killer.
It does. It did sound really good. It did sound really good.
All the reverb on there is from the room mics that we had in that cabin. Like, I don't think there's fake reverb on there, is there?
There's a little bit on the snare. Like whenever I'm mixing, I always put.
Like, damn it, we're posers.
Of course.
There's like a plate reverb on the snare. But other than that, no, it's mostly like any of like the vocals or guitar that sound like verbed out or far away. That's just the room mics.
That's sick.
super. Yeah. It was like a 40-foot high like A-frame.
There was a loft space up there that we rigged up.
Yeah, it sounded awesome. In there.
It was a really beautiful cabin. So it was a pretty small cabin to begin with. And I do want to state, we do not know the man who owned it. It was an Airbnb thing. So if you're listening out there, what was his name? Dale?
I think it was Ben.
It was Ben. If you're out there, Ben, thanks, bud. But it was like a really nice place to like if you were going there for a weekend, it'd be great. But so we made it way smaller by leaving everything set up from day one. So we entered into this like space that we had, no idea what everything was. It was all somebody else's stuff, and that already puts me on edge. Like when we play like house shows, I'm always like, I'm in somebody's house and home. I can't touch anything.
Right, you're afraid to break shit.
Exactly. Like so it's the same deal going into this cabin. We shrunk it down to about a quarter of its size, and there was a single AC unit that was making enough noise that like we had to turn it off when we were recording, otherwise we'd fuck up our recordings. So
It was hot.
It was quite warm in there. So
Uncomfortable.
we made this very stressful situation for us, and I think what's so like almost like poetic about it, if you want me to get all posery about it, is like we were in the middle of this, like, you know, pretty like, actually the woods wasn't that nice. It was the end of August and it was a bunch of pine trees that were dying off. So that was kind of
people shooting guns and mudding across the way.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. So we put ourselves in this like really stressful situation and then made it kind of more stressful. So if anybody's ever wondering how to get like a rad record out of yourself, really throw yourself in this banana situation.
So when y'all were going there, you weren't sure this was going to work out at all then?
Yeah.
No,
Pretty
we had
much.
no
I mean,
clue. We had no clue.
I was pretty convinced that it was going to work out with the time frame that we gave us. I mean, I'm used to working with like pretty nuts time frames and like not ideal circumstances, like with house shows in particular. You got to make it work. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna like spend, I think I took like 2.5 days or just 2 days tracking drums.
No, I think it was 2.
I like killed myself.
Yeah, it was 2 days. It was 2 days doing drums. It was 2 days doing guitar. 2 days doing vocals. Guess how much time they gave me to do the bass?
Half a day.
Half a day.
No.
12.
Brian records
6
really
hours.
fast. I mean, well, to be fair, Brian records really fast. So like, he typically is.
Well, also the bass
In
doesn't
the history of the
matter,
band,
so, you
always
know.
takes the least.
Yeah,
amount of takes.
bass doesn't matter at all. I pretend played for about half of it, so it's fine. God, I was so.
This is per diem, not hourly.
So it's about like a week you guys were there?
5 days.
5 days, okay.
So we were working like we'd wake up and like start by 10 or 11, and then we'd go to like 1:30.
And we weren't
morning?
like, we were not sleeping. I don't know what your guys' experience was, but like I would try to sleep and in my head I heard like the click track going and I just like couldn't sleep. I was like eating, sleeping, and breathing that whole album the entire time.
So you said 10 a.m. to 1 in the morning?
Yeah, something like that.
Jesus Christ.
Sometimes
I mean,
sometimes
we would take
earlier,
like
sometimes
lunch and dinner
later.
breaks, but yeah, it was pretty packed. I mean, that we knew that's kind of what it was going to be, because we only did like, I think it was 5 days. So we were pretty. Perfect.
Brian, if you can hear us, you are totally frozen, my man. You want to try to rejoin?
Oh no.
That is the perfect
Beautiful.
thing. Oh my God.
He's like Han Solo, dude. He's frozen in carbonite right now.
So why
Yeah,
go
melted.
to a cabin though? Like, why not just record stuff at your home?
I think we just wanted the experience to like get away and do. There we go.
Hey.
He's back. Oh,
Kind of. I think he froze again.
Oh. Okay.
Hey,
he's
he's
moving.
back.
He's moving.
I just saw the freeze frame on Twitch. Fuck yeah, that looked good.
That was great. That should be the next album cover. I think it was just like the experience of like going out and like, I had a really stressful job that summer and just needed to like, after it was done, it was like, okay, I just need to get out and like just focus on this album. And yeah, so we took 5 days of like we didn't do anything else. We planned on like going sightseeing or going to like a nature preserve and like hanging out. We didn't have time. We just worked on the album. So I think that was part of it too. Like in our last few things that we recorded, we always did it at home, and it's sort of like, all right, we'll do drums from like, I don't know, for some time frame. Like we pick out like 5 hours in a day and we pack up and then start doing other stuff. And it was just all this like downtime in between. So it was really cool to make an album where it was just like everything, all, you know, we just did drums and we moved right to bass. Like we didn't have
We
to
weren't
take a day
bothering
off
anybody either.
Yeah, there was no one around. I mean, like we heard the gunshots and like the people driving in mud and stuff, but that was like, I mean, it could have been a mile away, you know, like there was no one that was going to hear, you know,
How
The
far away
drums.
from you were you from the next house or cabin or whatever it is?
Miles. Like
there was
miles.
another
Probably like a
house like on the
quarter
other
mile for
side. Yeah,
one.
probably like a quarter mile.
Damn.
Yeah.
It had to have been more than that.
It was
No,
the
there was-
boonies.
Yeah, there was like a hill behind the cabin, and there were some houses back over there. So a quarter mile, third mile, something like that.
You guys have like access to internet and shit out there?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
we
actually
had
it was
Wi-Fi.
it actually like a super like well like run and maintained B&B. From what I could tell, I felt like I was the protagonist in Silent Hill, like going through this man's like notes and like books and stuff. So from what I was able to glean, he was a librarian. He was very very like religious and into his faith.
Yeah, we
Um,
found out most of his clientele for the Airbnb was like people going on mission retreats,
Yeah.
like church retreats and stuff. They had some pretty funny squad names. I can't remember what they were.
Oh, yeah.
It's like Splash Squad.
He
or
had a lot
something.
of awesome, super old books.
yeah,
That was cool.
that was really, he was like clearly like he wasn't like a librarian like a job he fell into. Like he was clearly a librarian because like he was mega into it.
He wasn't like a
Um,
normal librarian. He was like a cool librarian.
Like a cool librarian. Like yeah, he was
He lets you talk a little bit, just not super.
he
loud.
was related to Abe Lincoln somehow. Like very distantly. So there was all these pictures of Abe Lincoln around the house. I specifically recall there is one of him and Jesus.
Oh, have Abe Lincoln and Jesus or this guy and Jesus?
No, Abe,
remember that
Abe and
now.
Jesus. Abe and
I remember
Abe, it was Abe and Jesus. Abe and Jeezy.
He had a musket on the wall.
He had a he had
there's
a
a big musket on the
yeah, a
wall.
big old musket on the wall. I do send that to people when I'm applying for jobs. Like, this is the image editing I can do, and I think I shouldn't. It's a picture with Andy smiling like a serial killer with a big musket behind him. Like, I've used this.
Oh, jeez.
So you guys recorded it by yourselves in a cabin, and it was mastered by Colin Jordan at the Boiler Room. I'm kind of familiar with the Boiler Room. I think I've heard of them before, but yeah, how's it working with Colin?
Colin's actually mastered all of our releases. He's awesome. He's super easy to work with, very affordable, and yeah, seriously, like if you need mastering, I would go to him. He's super,
Is he cute? Is he cute? I've never seen a picture of him.
I don't know. I've never seen a picture of him either. I don't know how old he is. I don't know what he looks like. I don't know anything about him.
Okay, so he seems hot. So like he's talented and maybe hot.
Yeah,
Man,
I don't know.
Win-win.
Could be
person of mystery.
good at his job. You know,
And hot. Like, that's-
And
that's
hot,
the most
maybe.
important part.
We don't
Maybe
know.
not.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're right. We don't know.
We don't really know, you know. It can
Colin,
go.
if you're watching, you have my email address. Send me pics.
Yeah, do send us a selfie because I do tell people all the time, like, yeah, the guy who mastered the album mega hot, but I don't know.
So the artwork, we've got the album cover up on the stream right now. What's going on with the artwork?
So
So
that
much.
was yeah. So we actually have two different album covers. So that's the like the vinyl digital cover. That was through a guy named Kyle Calvert, I think is how you pronounce his last name. He's from Canada and he's like hooked up with Zegama Beach. And that's who, when Zegama Beach, told us they wanted to put this out on vinyl, that's who they sent us to do the art. And we just kind of like let him do his thing. There wasn't a whole lot. I don't think we gave him a whole lot of direction. And I'm pretty sure he only did like one or two drafts of the cover, and it was pretty solid. We didn't have any issues with it. And then we do have tape art that one of Andy's friends, Grim, designed. It's like this super cool collage. It's really gritty and gnarly. I like that one a lot too.
Yeah,
That's like the
recommend.
tapes from Tomb Tree tapes or whatever, right?
They're still
is
Zegama Beach.
is associated with
Yeah.
Zegama Beach or whatever. So
Yeah. But yeah, they're like dipped and they look
dude,
super
those
cool.
look so freaking good. Oh my god.
He's
It's
amazing.
super cool.
Dave, we call him Canada Dave because he's in Canada, and then the other Dave, the Dave that runs the U.S. store, is out here in Chicago.
I didn't know there were 2 days. I thought there was
Yeah, there
just
are 2
one day.
days.
There's a lot of
Three
Daves.
Okay.
Yep.
Those are the 13th and 14th Daves in my life, respectively.
Okay. Okay. Everybody's got a Dave in there.
Yeah, I got two.
Everybody's got too many Daves in their lives.
So,
My brother's. No, continues. I'm sorry.
So you guys also did 2 music videos for this, or well, a music video and a lyric video, I should say. We're playing the music video now. It's for Comb Over. Whose idea was this?
I mean, I got the guy that had the vision. We got this dude to follow us around, Matt Gans. He was a friend of mine from college, and we just walked around places. We went to like this woods in Batavia. It was just like kind of creepy, and he did a perfect job with like just a VHS footage.
I was the one who found the location. That was me.
Yeah, you got the locations, Brian.
Okay.
Sorry, I have no contribution to this band, so I have to like I have to make myself seem important.
So the idea is just like we're just gonna fuck around with the camera and just edit shit together. That's about it.
Yeah, we had no idea what we were doing.
Pretty much.
I am constantly like super excited about like found footage shit all the time. One of my favorite horror movies is a found footage Japanese film. So like I just kind of want that to be a thing every time I can make that a thing. So I pushed really hard for some like weird found footage VHS junk. And I think it turned out super cool. Yeah.
Yeah, you got it.
Matt is super talented.
Yeah.
You did another one. Hoping this one was gonna be done by the time we got to it. And we're almost there. But y'all did another one that I think was better actually. The lyric video. Get that going here. Vegan neuroscientist. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Vegan neuroscientist. But yeah, I think this one turned out really, really well. Like, oh my god. Like, were y'all filming this one too, or did y'all like outsource?
No. So this is all. I had this idea. This song makes me like has like serial killer vibes, and so
Okay.
that's all. That's all like
Serial killer vibes.
That's all like my handwriting. And so I had this
that's Derek's bio on his
my Tinder.
on your Tinder. Thank you. God, I couldn't think of the name of it. That's his bio on Tinder. Serial killer vibes with a period at the end.
2 periods.
2 periods.
So yeah, so I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna like, I wanted to do a handwritten one, and so I wrote out all the lyrics and then took a bunch of pictures just on my phone and like different things, and then I sent them all to our friends who have done pretty much all of our videos. They're called Third Beacon.
3 Beaks.
Yeah, they're fantastic, and they did our video for Tethered and the Cartographer, I think. The 2 other videos.
Those are also really cool videos.
Yeah,
I like
they're
those
just
a lot.
really, really good at their job. And so I sent them the pictures, and I was like, this is kind of like what we're going for. I can send you, like, I can go like get high def scans of these, and they're like, no, actually, let's use the pictures, because there's there's like a shadow of my hand in the picture, sort of. And so we gave them absolutely no direction other than that. I was like, here are all the pictures for the lyrics, and then that was it. And then I don't think they did a second draft. I'm pretty sure that they just sent us this, and we were like, oh, I don't have anything to say, and that was that.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Yeah, they did a fantastic job.
Yeah, they're super cool over there. They make good shit.
So I got a question that we ask everybody. What do you put on your hot dogs?
Chicago stuff.
Chicago style, baby.
Dude, that's always the most popular one. Everybody says Chicago style.
Do you know
Either
so
that
good.
or vegan hot dogs, and vegan hot dogs just get the fuck out of here.
that's Derek. That's Derek.
I am
Get the
vegan,
fuck
and I
outta
don't
here,
eat
Derek.
vegan hot dogs. I'm not eating that.
Here, if I can't do Chicago style, then I will like if I'm at like a stand or something and they've run out of everything, but they still have a shit ton of jardinera, I will make them fill that bun up with jardinera.
What the heck is jardinera?
What? It's like
You
a
don't-
pepper. It's like a pickled pepper mix.
You don't live in I forget that you don't live in Illinois.
It's
and I think-
spicy. It's really
yeah.
good.
yeah,
Sounds
it's
good.
like it's peppers, it's celery, some
like
tomato.
pickled.
Yeah,
But it's spicy.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
I'm gonna have to check that out sometime.
I have really only lived in Illinois and really in like this like Chicago-ish suburb area for like my whole life, so I forget like, oh yeah, people don't fucking know the same shit that I do, and I'm just a fucking idiot, so I forgot to explain what Chardonnay was, and I'm sorry.
Well, it's okay, man. Just don't let it happen again, okay?
I won't.
Bigot Brian.
I know.
So, you guys dropped this on Zegma Beach Records. How'd you guys hook up with David? Or the Davids? I guess there's two of them.
David's. I think I
Desperation.
Yeah, desperation. No, I sent him. I wanted to see if he would do like a tape release with us, with his Tomb Tree label, or if And so the other labels that we hit up for the album, did not like it. And
really, what the fuck?
One of them was like, you know what? This is kind of cool. Maybe Zegma Beach would like it. I was like, okay. So I sent it to David, in Canada. And he was like, yeah, let's do tapes. And then like that might have been in November, December. And then right at the beginning of the new year, he was like, actually, we want to do vinyl too. So we weren't expecting to do that. And that's why the release got pushed back until July. Originally we were planning on like February or March. I can't remember.
I think it was March. Yeah.
Yeah. Something like that. And yeah, that's basically how it went.
Well, I'm glad that this got the vinyl treatment. Like, this absolutely deserves it. Like, honestly, this album should be a lot bigger than it is. Like, it's fucking good, man. Most screamo bands that come out, the mix is like really fucking terrible, and you have no idea what the fuck's happening. And this one, it sounds so freaking clear and awesome, and it's like super original too. A lot of bands, like I haven't met a band that sounds the way you guys sound. Like, seriously, this is top notch stuff.
That means a lot coming from
At the Drive-In's not on the list.
Honestly, I never listened to At the Drive-In. I need to listen to At the Drive-In. They sound like
don't. You won't like us anymore. You won't like us anymore.
Yeah, yeah. These guys are fucking frauds. They sound exactly like At the Drive-In.
So, what's the best show you guys have played?
I'm just gonna say my favorite is the one we just played last weekend.
Oh, first show back from quarantine, or
that was our first show back. Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty badass.
Yeah, that was a good old show.
Also, the last one we played before quarantine in Andy's basement.
That was cool.
The toss up between those two.
Did y'all know that everything was going to go to shit after that last show?
I don't think so.
I mean, like, I think there was very early rumblings of like, this is what's happening and things.
I think that was like a January show, right? When was that show?
I think it was February. I'm pretty sure it was like early or mid-February.
Gotcha. I was on tour when the lockdowns started happening with a different band.
Oh, nice.
We were out coming back from like the southeast.
I wrote a thing about that, actually.
That was crazy.
Did like they cancel a bunch of your shows on tour and stuff then, or did y'all get through it in time?
We got through all of it. A few bands dropped the last few shows. We were really nervous about making it back, and like gas money and stuff like that. But I mean, everybody kept coming to the shows like the last 2-3 days. They're like, "Oh, this is pretty fucked up, guys." And we're all wearing masks. Like, I guess like we got like a pandemic or something now. Uh-oh. And like the last day we played a show, I think we were in Louisville, and like me and the guitar player figured out we like lost our jobs. Like everything was shutting down. We're like, oh, okay.
Right.
We're going. What's happening? Everything's fucked up.
It's
super tense time.
So, what was the best show, or the worst shows you guys have played? I'm sorry.
God, I got so many. I mean, this is what happens, right? You play a bunch of shows, and eventually, like, some of them are gonna be bad. That's just the thing. We played a show. This was before Andy was in the band. It was in Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Oh my God.
And it was at this Irish pub in the middle. And like that day, there was a jazz festival downtown.
I forgot about this one.
So there was a bunch of people in town for this event. And none of them were coming to our show. There was, I think, 10 bands on the bill.
It was a hardcore show.
Good God.
Like very like bro-y, straight hardcore.
Everyone had like 20-minute sets, and I think we were the only people that played less than 20. I think everybody else played about a half hour, 45 minutes. Huge day. Derek got absolutely fucked in the face by this crowd killing guy.
Oh no!
I was pissed.
Absolutely,
I was like, I gotta leave.
Clocked dead in the skull by
Jesus
his
He didn't
Christ.
stop. He didn't
By his
stop.
shoe?
No.
How the fuck did he?
No, he like hit me with this. He was like, he punched, like hit the top of my head.
He went through
really
the
hard.
merch table. We had to pick up merch because
We were all the way in the back already, and it was
What
like
the
this dude was just like going crazy, didn't give a shit about anyone.
He was either the promoter or he was in one of the bands, because I remember having like a long conversation with him hours before that event, and I think we just like were like that happened. I think we just packed up our merch and walked out.
Yeah, we didn't stay for the end.
It
I
had
was
been-
so angry. I was like,
It had been about
Like he
3
just
hours.
reached across the table and just fucking hit you in the face?
No.
no, I mean like we were in front of the merch table, but we were like way in the back, and so he was just like doing his thing, like hardcore dancing, hits me in the head. I mean, it was an accident.
Okay.
But he didn't stop. It was like he didn't even notice that he hit me, or he just didn't care, and he just keeps going and stuff, and doesn't apologize, doesn't do anything, and it was really hard. Yeah, I was.
Derek deserved it. I think I
probably deserved it. Yeah,
That guy was probably like,
I was asking for it.
nerds. Suck it,
Yeah.
nerds.
Yeah, too much. And so I was like, you know what? I'm done with this. No one liked us anyway. Let's just go. I think that's
Yeah,
still like the
it's
only show we ever
pretty
left
shit
before
show.
it ended.
What about you, Andy? Got a bad show with Lower Automation?
I've had bad shows. I can't remember. Brian, you go first, or did you already say one?
I just did. Where were you?
Yeah, you're right. What's your story? I'm thinking of like aftermaths of shows. We played this one weird spot. Our venue dropped with a different band in Albuquerque. The venue dropped because they didn't pass their fire code on their reopen date. So they couldn't have the shows that they booked. So we had to find another gig. We found another gig in Santa Fe, and we played an Oxygen bar with
an
like a
Oxygen
kind of
bar?
broken PA.
That's like a
dude,
hookah lounge.
Yeah, but with oxygen, like you're at the hospital in your nose and stuff. It was
What the
weird,
fuck?
dude. Yeah,
What is that
we
supposed
got-
to do for you? I don't get it.
Have you never heard of that? Have you never heard of that before?
No.
It's like an old
haven't.
people tourist trap, man. I don't know.
Old people
It's
Yeah,
like
tourist
right on the
trap.
stretch.
It's some wild like yuppie shit. It's like like it's not quite hookah, not all the time. Sometimes they call themselves an oxygen bar and it's just hookah, but sometimes it's like you put like a mask on, it's like flavored oxygen.
Yeah, that's what it
doesn't-
was.
So it's
It's-
air with like just flavorings in it.
I guess, and antioxidants and stuff. We didn't have they didn't have beer or anything. Like our drink tickets were for like antioxidant smoothies. So that was cool.
Okay. They
Yeah,
didn't
you
even
get
give you
paid
tickets
for
for
the
the oxygen? Like you didn't get to try out the oxygen?
Nah, I don't remember.
That-
It was
that makes
kind of
me-
weird. I don't want to stick anything in my nose.
That makes me think of the Parks and Rec episode. They go to this like weird bar, and they give Ron Swanson like he orders bourbon, but it's like a gel they like squirt into his hand and
Yes.
he rubs his hand, smells it. Like that's what it makes me think of.
Basically, but yeah, no, we played to nobody. We ate like some free pad thai that the promoter dude gave to us, but we didn't get paid or anything.
Free pad thai. was a
Okay,
good
yeah.
pad
Yeah,
thai.
that was nice. We shot our brains out the next day in Walmart, but it was good.
I am excited for you to ask your last of these show questions because I do have two very good ones that I can make quick.
Well, we got to see what Derek's worst show was.
Oh, that's right.
I honestly think the worst show is the one that Brian said. Is
Yeah, where you got your shit knocked
I
out of
really
you.
can't. Yeah, I mean, like no one liked us. It was
Nobody fucking
we
liked
played
us.
some really uncomfortable shows. Like we showed up and like all the other bands dropped except for like the promoters band or something, and like
Jesus
they
Christ.
didn't bring anyone, and we
And
slept
that-
in the venue.
And that was a better show than the time.
yeah, I mean, at least I
absolutely-
didn't get hit. I came out
Yeah.
unscathed. of
We
that
we
one.
got a place to sleep out of that one.
yeah.
That was at the Phoenix Cafe, I believe,
Oh,
somewhere
yeah.
in
like
Michigan.
Detroit.
Was it a place
So
that
right
you
outside
slept the
Detroit.
hospital?
What?
I Was the place that you slept the hospital because you got the shit
when you got hit.
I wish. I would have been more comfortable.
So, what's the weirdest show you guys have played?
Okay, I'm so ready for this. So
Let's hear it.
there's two of them, one real one and one honorable mention. So the first one, we played this Indiana Hicks backyard barbecue. This was
front yard barbecue. Front yard.
That's
barbecue.
right. You're right. Front yard barbecue.
Front yard barbecue.
So this is another one that's before Andy. Sorry, Andy.
That's okay.
We'll get there. We're gonna get so many weird shows out
Oh
of
yeah,
you.
we're gonna
You're
get weird shows.
You're gonna fucking hate us so much. But so we showed up at this place, and there's a bunch of white crosses on all these lawns, and we have no fucking idea what's happening. They turned out to be, on closer inspection, they were like laundry like things, but they looked like big white crosses, and we were like, oh shit, what?
At least they weren't on fire.
Do? So we get
Or
there.
upside down.
We get there, and there's a full ass freshly slaughtered pig roasting on a spit in front of his garage, and we're sitting there like, oh, we're not at the right place. And the guy comes out and he says, oh, are you the band? Are you one of the bands? You guys are playing tonight in my front yard.
Dude, honestly, a roasting pig would be like dude, I'd be so hyped for that. I've always wanted to try like a full pig that's like roasting and shit. Dude,
it was
so sick.
It was quite delicious.
There was a goat too.
There was well, not for eating. There was a pet goat.
Okay, I was gonna say, are we slaughtering this?
Yeah,
and it was walking around, and people were petting it like a dog.
At some
It
point,
was crazy.
This Indiana man. I feel bad that I said hick. I don't mean hick in a mean way. Like he was clearly a cool dude that just let a bunch of people show up and like jam in his front yard. I think he would probably say he was a hick though. I think that's how he introduced himself to us. I don't remember.
Nice to meet you.
I don't remember his name, but so we played around
on
like
that big riser, like
it wasn't on a riser. It was on their
high.
like his like daughter's playground. He built a playground for his daughter, and so like or his daughters, and so we brought all of our stuff up there. There was like a pulley system, I recall, to get all the gear up there.
Like you played with like the slides and shit, or
Yes. Yes.
well, so like it was a really big. It was very tall, and so there was like a really big slide, actually like right in front of us.
Yes.
And when we were playing, my pedal board was on the base of the slide. That was bizarre.
Yeah,
we were like at least 15 feet in the air.
And there was like we played around like 10 o'clock at night. It was quite late. There was two types of people in attendance. There was older folks that I think were maybe his family members, and then there was the bands. And that was all the people that were there, but everyone was quite enthusiastic. Like all things considered, it was a pretty good show.
That's crazy. Everybody was like extreme metal, or did you have like some weird country stuff thrown?
There was a ska band. There was
really,
yeah.
So were you all just like playing
good.
Somebody's birthday then, or was this like
it was
an
like
actual
I think it was like a Halloween bash or something, because it was like right around Halloween.
Yeah,
that's crazy, dude.
It was wild. And I do have a quick honorable mention that I would love to get.
Go for it, man.
So this is when me and Derek tour in a band called Formance, which is a synth band that Derek writes all the music for, and sometimes because I'm his friend, he forces me to play synth bass, and when I say no, I'm busy, he guilt trips me really hard and makes me feel really bad about it until I eventually agree to do it at great personal expense. So financial expense. Thank you very much. Thank you for reminding me about that. So we played Michigan. I think this was again some weird bar. There was there was a modular synth guy that opened the show, and then a cover band that played after the modular synth guy.
Before us, but after the
after the modular synth guy, and before every song. And this had to have been a joke. I refuse to believe this man was real. But so the lead singer before every song would go 1, 2, 3, 4 at that tempo, and then play a song in a different tempo every time.
Yeah,
they played for 1.5 hours.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and then everybody left, and then it was me and Derek in this bar by ourselves. And I think actually the synth guy hung out for us, which is cool. He's turned out to be a cool guy. But yeah,
What kind of cover
bargain
band was this?
bargain bin Bruce Springsteen.
That's a
I like
good
the
one.
alliteration there, Brian. That was great.
Thank you. That's what I'm using my degree to its fullest.
What about you, Derek? What's the weirdest one for you?
I'm gonna take the lazy way out, and I'm gonna say one of those two or the one.
Don't no. There's
Yeah.
so many other weird ones.
I mean,
Tell us another
there's.
story. Come on, story time.
You can't cheap out on this.
Okay,
one,
so
Derek.
I'm gonna get. So this is after the show. So we played the show somewhere in Indiana, and
It's always
promoter-
somewhere in Indiana.
yeah, always some. That's where it happens. And the show was cool. It was in like this old rundown theater that was like sort of abandoned at one point, and so backstage there was like all of this '90s like paperwork all over the place. It was really cool.
I know. Okay, yeah, I know what this.
And
I
then
know
the
this one.
toilet also. I don't know if it worked, but I used it, and it like if you sit on it,
I
it
hope
like
it worked.
rocked forward. Yeah, I hope it worked. I mean, I flushed it. I don't know where it went, but you know. So.
Into the ocean, Derek. You
Oh,
idiot.
ocean. Okay. I feel better now. So after the show was fine. After the show, the promoter's like, "Hey, I got you this place to stay." I think the promoter has a family, and so they were like, you know, you can't stay with us, whatever. And so he got us this place to stay. We pull up there, and there's this fence. The house is fenced in. There's all these cameras. And the guy's like, "Oh, he's a drug dealer." I don't know what kind of drugs he was dealing. But he did tell us about the tweakers in the neighborhood.
He didn't tell us until we got there.
Yeah, we
Like-
pulled up and he's like, "Yeah, he's a drug dealer, just so you
Like
know."
I'm not a fucking cop. I'm an adult human being, and if somebody said this man's a drug dealer, you're gonna stay with him. I would have said okay, but
It would have been nice to be warned. So we
I
walked in
just
there,
needed the warning.
and like, I think the guy had a pit bull, and so just like the stereotypes, you know. But like our stuff was safe, and it ended up being like a really cool night. Like I slept in a hammock, inside. That was fun. Never
And the
done that
man
before.
the guy was very nice. Like he was a
Super nice.
cool.
They made us breakfast in the morning. It was actually really great. But like upon walking in there, like we just found out, oh, he's a drug dealer. There's all these cameras, and the guy's telling us, you know, be careful outside of the fence. There's all these tweakers around. That's like a direct quote. Yeah, so that was
Jesus
that was
Christ.
the weirdest night, I think.
Like a house set up for the zombie apocalypse, and
Yeah, but
a
we were
little
safe.
bit.
Once we got in there, you know, I was like, oh, this is okay. But it was weird.
Andy, what about you? With any band, what's the weirdest show you played?
I can't think of a lot that I'm probably forgetting, but like there's this one. I think it was somewhere in like Pennsylvania or somewhere East Coast, like Middle East Coast, and we were set to play at like some rec hall or something, like some hall with like a bar attached for like banquets or something. The promoter had us and like a few other punk bands coming through there. So we show up and the parking lot is like all sunken and like flooded and stuff. And there was a little plank of wood outside, and they were like, dude, we were like, there's no way this is the stage. And they were thinking about using it as a stage when they pulled up. They showed up late, and we were like, wow, this is going to be quite a pit. Like, this is going to be mud. And it was all wet and it was gross. We didn't actually do it. We went inside after we told the guys, like, dude, there's no way you guys have an extension cord long enough for this thing. I don't know what you guys, they're like, and they expected us to travel with the PA. So we get there and like sound check was supposed to be like, I don't know, this show was supposed to be like 8 or something. It was like 7:30 and we're like, so who's got the PA? And they're like, wait, you guys don't have a PA? We're like, fucking no. No, we don't have a PA.
Like we're a punk band. Come on.
So they had to like ask a bunch of their friends last minute if they could like borrow someone's speakers for the night. And this show started like an hour and a half late.
Nice.
And then our guitarist at the time just busted a bunch of glasses because it was inside the banquet hall and they were trying to mosh and stuff. It was just a really sloppy show. And I was just like, damn, I wish I was in bed right now.
Well, it sounds like you got some more sloppy shows up ahead of you with a little
yeah.
automation.
Mostly what we do.
So what was the last thing you guys listened to?
Like today?
Yeah, very last thing.
I don't know. What did you listen to, Derek?
All right. So I'm gonna say two things because the last one is. I shouldn't be embarrassed.
Dude,
Okay,
don't
the
make
last thing I
excuses.
listened.
Come on now.
The last thing I listened to was "Lonely No More" by Rob Thomas.
No idea who he is.
Matchbox
assuming-
20, Rob
Okay.
Thomas.
What
Smooth.
was it?
You know that
He-
Santana song with Rob Thomas, Smooth?
No.
Matchbox 20? Ah, man.
Oh,
Okay.
I know
you
who
don't know-
Matchbox
you are
20
lucky.
is, but I have no idea.
Okay.
Like
It's his like first solo album, and that song I think is kind of sick. For what
I'm
it is.
thinking like soft R&B kind of sound. Is that
Yeah,
what about?
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
But before that, I was listening to Derek Bailey in the car.
I don't know who
So
that is either. Dude, I'm
That's,
so
that's
out of
like
it,
my
I
favorite
guess.
guitarist. But yeah, that's where I'm at today.
Okay. And what's your album of the year so far?
My album of the year, I think the new Garbage album.
Garbage?
Yeah, they
Again, man, dude. Every time I mention bands you guys don't know, you mention bands that I don't know. We're never on the
you
same
don't know Garbage?
page. No,
Okay,
I
so
have no
Garbage is
fucking
like-
idea.
Garbage is
Garbage
great.
is- Garbage is they were a '90s band, sort of like goth pop electro thing. I don't know, and they had like a few like top hits, but they just had a new album come out. I think like last month or something. And it's their first one in a long time, and it's really good.
So Garbage is not garbage then.
No, I think it's called No Gods, No Masters. I think that's what it's called. It's really good.
Okay. Andy, what was the last thing you listened to?
I listened to the drums in the car, but we actually got a haul from a record store earlier today. Got some Judas Priest.
Ooh.
Last thing I listened to was Free Will
Painkiller is the
Burning.
best. Painkiller is the best.
Nah, man,
metal
ram it
album,
down.
but
Ram it down.
No, it's Painkiller.
I don't know who Judas
And I'll
Priest is.
fight you about that.
I was gonna say I'll fight you. So meet me by the flagpole.
Painkiller's great. I do like Free Will Burning though. That one's just badass. You can't understand half of what he's saying, half the song.
What's your album of the year so far?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to keep track. Everybody's putting out albums. Like, I want to say like the Body Farm split that came out. I don't even know if it was last year, but I want to say that Body Farm did a split with a different band that I don't remember off the top of my head. But that was new music that I really liked this past year.
Okay. Brian, what was the last thing you listened to?
I actually just before we got on here, I was jamming out to Have a Nice Life's Sea of Worry. Super good 2019 album. If you don't know,
I don't.
no, it's cool. Have a Nice Life did Death Consciousness. You might know them from that. That album, goth rocky kind of nonsense. They're pretty good.
Okay. And what's your album of the year?
I've been trying to figure it out the whole time here. I've gotten it down to a toss up between Backwash. She's a rapper that put out like what I think is maybe the most like hardcore, like emotional rap album I've ever listened to. It's either that or it's Divide and Dissolve's Gaslit, which came out in February, I think. And they're a doom band with a lot of like classical inspiration. Both of them are super good. I think it might be Divide and Dissolve though. That band fucking rules.
Alrighty.
Because the one thing Backwash is missing is euphonium, which Divide and Dissolve has. It's
What's euphonium?
kind of like it's like a weird, ugly French horn.
Oh, it sounds like a drug.
Small.
Euphonium?
No, it's a small French horn.
Okay.
I think that's the euphonium. But yeah, that's those are my picks.
Alrighty. So you guys have shirts as well as CDs and tapes of your older material on your Bandcamp. And there's tapes and vinyl of your current album over at zbrusa.com. I believe there's also a Canada link on your Bandcamp.
Yeah, they're both on our Bandcamp. So if you go to our Bandcamp, you can find the links for both.
Absolutely. And yeah, it's about all I had to talk about. Unless y'all guys had anything else you wanted to bring up before we hit up the intro or the outro.
Stay tuned for more weirder shit from us sometime soon.
Hell yeah.
I'd like to say wear sunscreen. Make sure that you drink enough water. And to everyone that's bought our album and stuff, we all really appreciate it. We did not think anyone would like it at all.
No,
We're making
I don't
it.
understand where any
So-
of this is coming from, and I'm like about as humbled as Derek is, maybe more so. Derek, tell me we'll fight about how humble we are later.
Yeah, we'll do it. Meet me at the merch booth.
Gotcha.
No, like for real though, this is amazing. This album's really,
you.
really fucking good. You guys should be super proud of this. And it should be so much bigger than it is, but yeah, here we are.
I feel like it's quite big. We got written about by some jokers.
Okay, I'm
About
way
some
more
jokers.
humble than you are, Brian. Way more humble than you.
Well, it's just I'm not saying I'm not walking around with an ego or anything. I'm surprised. Like
Yeah, me too.
I didn't expect like at the I couldn't expect anything I ever was a part of to be as big as this is, whether or not this is actually like, big or not. I look like a fucking insane person right now, but like like I would be nervous if this album was bigger. Like, what's happening? Like, where are we? Who
Yeah,
are
I mean
you?
it's like probably y'all's like first taste of success, I guess, but like this should be so much bigger than it is.
And I really
Well, thank
appreciate
you.
that.
That means
Means
I
a
mean,
lot, man.
especially coming from you.
Like I bet that this will end up on people's year-end lists, like for sure.
Thank you.
This shit's really good.
That's
Thank
really
you.
nice of you to say because you're more talented than all of us. So I'm like
I don't
very
know
like
that.
like very like why is this person saying this to us? Are you making fun of me?
So, if you're looking to scratch that sassy post-hardcore itch, Lower Automation's debut album, which dropped back in July on Zegma Beaches Records, is your back scratcher. You're on Facebook, Bandcamp, Instagram, YouTube, and all streaming platforms. Oh, you're on Twitter too. We've just figured that out at the beginning of this. Drop my channel, follow so you always know when I go live. You can also sub to get access to the interviews before they hit YouTube and streaming services, as well as some exclusive emotes. Find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. YouTube folks, if you enjoyed the video, please drop a like, click on the notification bell. Don't forget to subscribe. It's a great way to support me for free. Check out my music, The Sound That Ends Creation, at thesoundthatenscreation.bandcamp.com. Revolver premiered my new single, You're a Loose Cannon, but You Get Results, featuring Kate Davies and People Slicer back on Friday. Check
Really
that
good.
out, and check out pre-orders for my new album, Boomers, Zoomers, Desperate Coomers, up on my Bandcamp. My next
That's
guest is John from Killprez. Probably not pronouncing that
Ooh.
correctly, but Killprez. Join us this Wednesday the 8th at 12 p.m. Central for the live cast. Thanks for being here, guys. Hope you had a good time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks for having us. Really appreciate it.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
Hell yeah. And thank you guys for watching.